2:45 to play. Such a harsh word.
Disqualified.
You, sir, are disqualified.
I was going to say, when you brought that up, you sounded more judgmental than I think you needed to be. It's just a rule, Brad.
I
he has to go.
I quite agree. ESPNU. ESPNU is the definitive source for National Signing Day. On Wednesday, February 6th, the 10-hour coverage will include more than 15 live player announcements, reporters at 13 college campuses, and class ranking updates each hour. The 2013 college football season starts on National Signing Day, 9 a.m. on ESPNU. Smart says, did I really miss that? So Kalitsla's done with 12. And the Mountaineers will miss him the rest of the way.
5 rebounds on the day as well. But this has been a very efficient performance for Oklahoma State after that little wobbly start. They've put to this 2-3 zone. They've defended much better. Their rebounding picked up. Their offense has kicked in.
Murray and one. Foul appears to be going on Murphy, which is just unkind to people who do what we do, Murray and Murphy.
You're right, you get your hands full. They got two Browns,
we got a
Murray
Brown
and a
with
Murphy.
an E and a Brown without an E, and a Kalitsla and a Suchek.
Nice finish there from the three-point play by Murray, but West Virginia's going to have to get some stops here, and they're having a hard time doing that. This Oklahoma State team shooting 50%, 22 of 44. Good offensive execution by Travis Ford's team.
Yep. Aaron Harris, by the way, it's easy to say Travis Ford, so thank you for that. Yeah. Aaron Harris drawing his 4th foul. And look what he's done at home. The fact that they haven't won a game on the road yet, they've only played 4 this year, and he's as tired of hearing about it as he is of it happening.
Well, then go play road games if you don't want to hear about it.
Well, they did last year. One of the reasons they played very, very few non-conference road games this year is because of how many they played last year. They played 6 or 7 of them, which, as you know, is really unusual.
It is. And I don't blame them. I mean, as an ex-coach, if I had the liberty of never leaving my backyard, I'd play them all at home. Why not?
The only reason why not is it doesn't get you ready for when you have to.
Well, that's true.
And then it becomes.
But you know what else happens in those, though, Brad? You win a lot.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
That's a good thing. People like that.
Forte's next point will be a career high for him.
He predicted he'd get it, so I'm watching carefully to see what kind of a prognosticator you are.
Cobbins will go to the line. That will be Murray drawing his 4th foul.
He made a really good point, though. We've talked about Smart at the top, and now Forte's going crazy, and Nash has been such a solid player. And you are right, though. What is a 6'8" Michael Cobbins bring to this team when you throw him in the mix along with Markel Brown, who's having a great day?
Good defensive player.
A lot of weapons.
That's why there are people who think, and Travis Ford is among them, they're just right on the edge of turning the corner. He said we had one bad game, the loss at Oklahoma, but he said, of course, Bedlam is a big deal in either building, Norman or here, and he said we'll look forward to playing them again. And Lon Kruger's team has been one of the really pleasant surprises in the Big 12 so far.
And I've seen NC State enough this year, and I still think that's a quality team, and they beat them like a drum, and I know that was early. They beat them by 20 early in the year, and they've got a stretch now. This is a stretch of 3 of the 4 home games. They beat Texas Tech at home, lost at Baylor. They've got this one, Iowa State at home, and then they go after a trip to Kansas. They play Baylor here again at home, so maybe they can get some momentum.
Hines from the corner. And Jabari Hines with 5 points all in this half. 16-point lead now for Oklahoma State. Brown. And it's 55 Keaton Miles with a rebound down to Staten. Cobbins.
Nice challenge by Cobbins. Then he gets the rebound, and they got numbers.
Brown. Murray with his 9th rebound for the Mountaineers. Hines.
It's just the problem for Bob Huggins' team. They just haven't consistently shot.
That one was from Chickashaw.
Well, we're getting some empty possessions here, but empty doesn't do it for West Virginia. They got too much ground to make up.
No, that's why they're shooting those threes. Jurek, 11 rebounds for the Cowboys.
Bob Huggins, who of course is known for his legendary patience,
Yes,
is just delighted at the struggles of his team. He looks like he's going to pop out of his sweatsuit over there.
Oklahoma State called this timeout. And there is a connection, an interesting connection between Travis Ford, the boyish-looking coach, although is in his 5th year at Oklahoma State, and the veteran Bob Huggins. 20 years ago, Bob Huggins was an assistant coach on the U.S. gold medal winning team in the World University Games, in which Travis Ford was a player. They beat Steve Nash's Canada team in 1993. And Huggins, Ford remembers Huggins as being a little bit laid back as an assistant on that team, and Huggins remembers Ford as not being the best player on the team, but he said it with a smile, and you can see what he's done. 3rd among active coaches. Look at all the tournament appearances. 5-time national coach of the year, and he really had, and as we said, 5 straight years with the Mountaineers in the NCAA tournament, and he's really one of the great coaches in the business.
It's just the 25-20 win seasons and 20 NCAA tournaments. And if he's a funny guy, a sarcastic guy, he can be cutting, but I've heard him when I was coaching at clinics, when he decides to really bring it, and he's old school in that regard. With us, quote, in the media, he'll banter and cut and have his own fun, but when he gets among his brethren at the clinics where he really brings it, his father was a coach, he's an old school guy that way. I was so impressed with the presentation he made at the clinic. He talked defense one day, and I was like, I walked away with a notebook full of stuff. Very, very good.
Clearly knows what he's doing. And as we said just 3 years ago, they're a Final Four team. That's why he is so flummoxed by the problems they've had this year. Nash, flummoxed.
Good word out of you there.
Listen, every chance you get to use flummoxed. We're under 4 minutes. Harris.
Travis can't be happy about that because, frankly, his team's banking on the fact like this game's over, and they're giving West Virginia some easy looks, and you got to be careful. There's a steal.
Hines.
Wow. Spectacular was that by Murray. And as I told you, Travis Ford is not happy. This game's not over.
And again, he told him yesterday, 40 minutes, not 35. It's going to take 40. And now you see 11 points is nothing in 3.5 minutes.
Well, not only that, you know what? Even if the game winds up over an 8-0 run right now, as you got to look at the spectacular follow right here. The fact that you're trying to set a tone. If you are really of the belief your team is about to make that surge forward, they can't be good for 35 minutes, good in stretches, and get complacent. You've got to play at the level that you're demanding of yourself every minute that you're out there. And that's what the message is right here.
This is the other thing that coaches know. They really know the rhythms, the ebbs and flows of a season. So that he knows they're getting into what for a college basketball player is the dog days.
You're absolutely right.
Conference play is a third over. You can't see the tournaments yet. This is when you get schools back in. You got to really bear down if you're going to be everything that you can be. Coaches know that. Players don't know that.
Exactly, because this is when you build habits. It's easy to get in bad habits for the reasons you just alluded to, and he's making sure that this big lead doesn't help lead to some bad habits. Back to the 1-3-1 here.
Brown, Jurek, little flop, did not draw any attention by Miles, and Jurek has his 8th point. Miles. Look at Brown out challenging Harris. Miles rejected by George.
George giving him solid minutes as well with the 8 points and a presence in the middle.
And Smart, who came out with a bad ankle before, with 2:45 left, his team up 13, still out there on the floor.
Yeah, he looks fine now. He's bouncing around.
Forte fouled by an astounded Jawan Staten, who draws his first.
Never has a player been so wronged
in the history of the game.
Shift the balance of power decisively in your favor. The exclusive 8-speed transmission and rotary shifter in the 2013 Ram 1500. Engineered to move heaven and earth. Guts, glory, Ram. The new Ram 1500. Motor Trend's 2013 Truck of the Year.
So, you say men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Then how do I get this?
Safe driving bonus check. Every 6 months without an accident, Allstate sends a check. Silence. Are you in good hands?
Man, these ultimate grilled cheese sandwiches are great, huh?
No kidding. Who would have thought a Philly steak grilled cheese?
BLT grilled cheese.
How about it? It's
amazing.
The grilled cheese upgraded.
That's right. It's business class of grilled cheese.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, moving on up to business class.
You get comfy if you do that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Whoop, that's
there
too
you
much.
Go.
That's
there
too
you
much.
go.
Bring it back
do
up
it
here.
Slow. Do it slow.
That's too far forward.
Upgrade your grilled cheese with the all-new Ultimate Grilled Cheese Sandwiches. This is how you Sonic.
Today at 5, Missouri looks to assert their dominance on the boards against Vanderbilt. Then USC squares off against Arizona's superb backcourts.
Here's Lyons on the drive, contact, hit the shot!
The doubleheader tips off at 5 today on ESPNU.
Laurie Noke in the studio coming up. Starting actually in a moment over on ESPN News, Jared Swapshire and Northwestern take on Nebraska. Now, when our game is over, we'll bring that game over to ESPN News, right?
Thank you, Dari. 72-59 Oklahoma State. Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. West Virginia, as has been the case so much of the time in the conference season, Bob Valvano looking for answers. You can see it on their faces. Trying to figure out what was the number of that truck we were doing so well.
Where they started so overwhelmingly strong at both ends. They were getting it done, and then the wheels just came off. They haven't been able to stop this Oklahoma State team that is just under 47% shooting and 50% from the three-point line. And Brad, you mentioned that Bob Huggins has been frustrated at his team's inability to defend behind the line. We're seeing it today. And now, you may be correct. If this 88% free throw shooter can get it done at the line, a career high was predicted by my partner here just moments ago.
There he is.
There you go.
Marcus High School in Flower Mound, Texas.
I think they're going to present you the ball.
No. Keaton Page looking on approvingly.
Shooters in the zone are a thing of beauty.
Remember, he's a freshman, this kid. He's going to get better. And he and Smart talked about the fact they played together in high school, and they thought, well, this is the end. And they thought that maybe they would go their separate ways. It would be better for both of them. And as we mentioned, as Hines misses, Travis Ford recruited them separately. And then they said, you know what, we could actually have fun playing together for a while longer, so let's do.
Looks like it's been fun today. If I were able to shoot it like that, I promise you I'd have had a lot of fun.
Oh, you had a lot of fun. Stop. Come on.
Not like that. I did 6 threes on the day, and he is just absolutely feeling it today.
6 of 11.
Fellas shot it pretty well himself.
Yes, he has. Harris has 5 threes. Aaron Harris, 5 of 8. 6 three-pointers, ties a career high for Forte, so he needs another one.
You're just relentless.
Hey, foot on the neck,
Goodness.
Foot on the neck. 3 for Markel Brown.
He's got 4 threes.
Yeah, they're feeling it now. This is, if you just see the score later on and you didn't watch the game, it's a completely different deal. Miles drew the foul. Cobbins will be called for it. That's his fourth. But he's done a nice job in the second half, Cobbins, of playing under control because he had 3 at halftime.
Yeah, that is true. And that's another thing that you look for is guys who understand how to play with fouls. That's a skill set. Some guys don't ever get it.
Northwestern and Nebraska coming up next. We'll be getting into Lincoln as soon as we're done here in Stillwater.
And both of those teams within the last week. That should be an interesting game.
Yep.
So Miles doing a really good job. Nebraska, he's a perfect fit right there.
Lincoln's lovely this time of year. Been there many times. Why do you laugh?
Just tropical at this time.
It doesn't have to be tropical to be lovely.
Every game I've done for the last 2 months has been the first thing when I get off the plane is.
I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to tell you this. It's January.
I understand that, but it's January in Miami too, in Southern California.
Well, you need to talk to somebody in the front office. You need to talk to someone in scheduling. As they used to say, when I was in the Army, the chaplain's office is down the street, pal. Smart. I'll bet they still say it. And the bench is emptying now for Oklahoma State, number 30. Mason Cox coming in. What a game for this freshman. Phil Forte, remember the name. You're going to hear a lot more about it. Yeah, hug that man, yeah.
Lots of smiles on that bench with good reason.
Yes, sir.
Travis Ford has got to be pleased the way his team stepped up here. Got an 80 spot on the board against the team that only gives up 65 a game.
Smart also getting a rest now. And so Oklahoma State has brought Suchek and Sager back in the game. They've got Mason Cox, a senior from Flower Mound, and number 5 out there on the perimeter is Ford Stewin. That basket good from the corner.
Richard Romeo knocking that down.
And Matt Butke is going to come into the game for Alex Butke, Alex Butke from right here in Stillwater going to come in a moment. Travis Ford getting the rare opportunity to really empty the bench.
You're one of these guys, you love it because the shot clock is still, you have to shoot it. You can't just dribble it out. Somebody's going to get to shoot one.
A couple of these West Virginia players are getting to play, although not the way they wanted to, really, for the first time in quite a while. 22, Eric Dickerson right there guarding Sager. Suchek. Cox wildly with the putback.
Shot clock violation, I believe.
7 seconds left. Tom Eads and Doug Sermons will sort this out. And it is a shot clock violation. Number 30, Richard Romeo in the blue for West Virginia. Playing in his 4th game. Eric Dickerson playing just for the 2nd time. Nebraska Northwestern coming up next from Lincoln. Bruins miss will close this one out. Our final score is Oklahoma